Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and I saw Freakier Friday and I didn't really care for it. Now I was interested in this movie, I'm a fan of the first one, it's not one of my favorite movies ever, but it's funny, sweet, and has its own charm, and the movie looked pretty promising. I liked the trailers, again nothing too mind-blowing or I was super hyped about or anything, but it looked like a cute enough, charming little sequel that could hopefully capture the magic that the first one had. And while this isn't the worst movie I've ever seen, I wouldn't even say it's really all that bad. I still was a bit disappointed by this movie. I found it to be a pretty lackluster sequel. Starting with my positives, I think the best part of the movie is the dynamic duo themselves, Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. They easily swap back into their roles, and you can tell they're having a lot of fun. You can tell that they love doing another one of these movies, and they play off of each other very well. They have strong chemistry and a really strong back and forth with one another, and they easily have the funniest moments in the movie, especially Jamie Lee Curtis, who is having a ball. She is having the time of her life, just chewing up the scenery. Easily the best performance out of everyone in the cast, and Lindsay Lohan is also delightful in this one as well. She has some of the more sentimental sequences, but can also be very, very funny here and there, and I think she approached both the sentimental and the humor very well here. Speaking of the humor, there are times where the movie can be really, really funny. Again, most of it comes from Jamie Lee Curtis and the situations she gets into with Lindsay Lohan, but then there are just some other jokes that just get really weird and absurd. Not all the time, unfortunately. If it kept this up, I think the movie would have benefited from that. Like, there's a point early on where there's a mime, just it's never explained, it's never brought up again, but there's just a mime, and I just sat there going, what is he doing here? So if it had more of that silly absurdity to it, I think it could have benefited from that, because again, that's when the movie was definitely the most hilarious and had me laughing the most, honestly. It is another Lego sequel that relies on callbacks and cameos from the original film, but it never felt jarring or forced, really. They actually blended it to the sequel very well and naturally, to where you can actually admire the cameo and the callback, and it doesn't feel like the movie's going, hey, remember them from the first movie? They're here again, remember. And again, it made me appreciate the cameos and the callbacks even more. And I will say the ending really sealed the deal for me. I thought it really worked. It ended on a nice, sweet little moment between all the cast and characters. It didn't, make up for everything else in the movie, but I think it ended things on the right note. But now on to my negatives with the film. I just think this movie is just way too bloated. There are so many subplots and different characters, and it never felt like meshed together. It just felt like the filmmakers were desperate to go bigger and bolder, but it just became too jumbled and messy for me. A lot of the plot lines just are there really just to fill up time, really, and a lot of the other characters are just there for like a gag or a quick cameo, which I appreciated, but again, they didn't really serve much purpose to the overall story, and a lot of the other secondary characters who are crucial to the story aren't really that interesting. It's not that the actors didn't do a good job playing their roles, it's just that they're written very bland and uninteresting, and it caused them to be rather forgettable for me, and certainly unmemorable, unfortunately. And certain plot lines and sequences would go on for so long that you would forget that some of the characters are even in the movie. We spend so much time with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously rightfully so, but it would cause you to forget about the daughters having to go through this situation, or as I should say, Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis in the daughter's body. This is too confusing, but yeah, it would cut back to them, and it would be like a sudden realization, like, oh right, you girls are in this movie. I completely forgot about it. So yeah, way too much stuff going on here, and also a lot of the comedy is rather hit or miss. Again, some of the jokes really worked for me, and I laughed a couple times, but a lot of the jokes definitely felt very juvenile, lowbrow, even something out of a Disney Channel original movie and not one of the good ones, if you know what I mean. Just very low brow, low hanging fruit with some of the jokes. It just needed more of the solid comedy from the dynamic duo and also just the absurdity. Like I said, really, I don't even think they play a lot with the swap, really, because again, we focus so much more on Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. They kind of overshadow the girls, so we don't really get much out of the fish out of water with the other two, really. So overall, Freakier Friday is a pretty mixed bag. Outside of some strong performances from Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, some funny jokes here and there, and a touching ending, and some actually solid callbacks and cameos from the previous film, I found this to be rather lackluster. The story has way too much going on. The comedy is just not that funny and just very messy and chaotic and not in the best way. If you are a fan of the original and you were really, really interested in seeing this movie, I'd say go check it out, but not like a rush. You're better off waiting till this drops on Disney Plus. Honestly, again, maybe just to skip towards the Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis stuff, as the rest of the movie there isn't much really left to offer here. Again, if you're a die-hard fan, sure, go ahead. As for anyone else, you're probably better off just waiting for this to hit Disney Plus in a couple months. So those are my thoughts on Freakier Friday. What did you all think of it if you've seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all those social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.